Do you know what the most dangerous cyber threat of the 21st century is? It's not a virus or a worm, but a far more sinister and destructive form of malware. Ransomware, as it's called, is the unseen threat lurking in the digital shadows. Imagine this. You're going about your day when suddenly your computer screen locks up. A message appears demanding a ransom in exchange for your data. The clock is ticking and every second counts. That's ransomware for you, and it's as terrifying as it sounds. In recent years, ransomware attacks have surged, crippling businesses, governments, and individuals alike. The numbers are staggering, with millions of dollars paid out in ransoms and countless precious data lost forever. This malicious software has swiftly established itself as a formidable adversary, lurking in the unseen corners of our connected world. Ransomware, the unseen threat, has been making notorious headlines. Let's take a look at how it all started. The roots of ransomware trace back to 1989 with the AIDS Trojan, also known as the PC cyborg. This may seem surprising since the internet was still in its infancy and personal computers were not as ubiquitous as they are today. But even then, the seeds of this cyber menace were being sown. This Trojan was the brainchild of an evolutionary biologist named Dr. Joseph Popp. Now, Popp was no ordinary biologist. He had a sinister side that led him to create the first known ransomware. His weapon of choice? A seemingly harmless floppy disk. The AIDS Trojan was distributed through physical means, quite unlike the digital distribution we see today. Popp handed out these disks at an international AIDS conference, claiming they contained a program that could analyze the risk of AIDS based on certain behavioral patterns. But in reality, the disks were loaded with a malicious code. The code was designed to lie dormant until the computer was rebooted 90 times. On the 91st boot, the Trojan would spring to life, encrypting field names and hiding directories. The victims would then find a note on their screen demanding a payment of $189 to a PO box in Panama for a software lease. The AIDS Trojan was not particularly sophisticated, and many were able to overcome it without paying the ransom. But it highlighted a chilling new way that computers could be exploited. It was a reminder that the digital world could be just as vulnerable to threats as our physical world. Popp was eventually caught and charged, but he was declared unfit to stand trial due to mental illness. His creation, however, lived on. It paved the way for a new form of cybercrime that would become far more sophisticated and damaging in the years to come. This was just the beginning of what would become a new era of cyber threats. Fast forward to 2013, CryptoLocker arrives, marking the start of a new breed of ransomware attacks. This was no ordinary threat. In essence, CryptoLocker was a game changer. It was the first widespread ransomware attack that encrypted the victim's files, making them virtually impossible to retrieve unless a ransom was paid. The attack was simple, yet sophisticated. It would sneak into systems through a seemingly harmless email attachment. Once opened, it would unleash its payload, encrypting files and flashing a ransom note demanding payment in Bitcoin. The audacity of it all. This was not just a theft. It was an outright hostage situation, but CryptoLocker was just the start. It opened the floodgates for a new era of cybercrime. Ransomware didn't just evolve, it mutated into more dangerous forms. Each new variant became increasingly sophisticated, exploiting vulnerabilities, bypassing security measures, and even using advanced tactics like social engineering to trick unsuspecting victims. Take, for instance, the evolution from CryptoWall to Locky. CryptoWall, another infamous ransomware, took CryptoLocker's blueprint and added its own spin. It used more robust encryption methods, making decryption even more challenging. Then came Locky, a ransomware so potent that it could encrypt over 100 different file types, making it one of the most destructive ransomware of its time. As we moved into the second half of the 2010s, the stakes got even higher. We saw the rise of ransomware as a service, a business model where cybercriminals would sell or lease ransomware to others. This meant that even those with limited technical skills could launch devastating attacks, expanding the reach and impact of this threat. And then there were the targeted attacks. Instead of casting a wide net, some cybercriminals started focusing on high-value targets: governments, corporations, hospitals, entities that couldn't afford to lose their data and were more likely to pay the ransom. As time passed, the attacks became more advanced and the stakes higher. It's a chilling reminder that in the world of cybercrime, the threat is always evolving, always adapting, and always one step ahead. In 2017, the world witnessed the WannaCry attack, the largest ransomware attack in history. It was a global cyber crisis that caused massive disruption, impacting over 200,000 computers across 150 countries. Hospitals, factories, schools, and businesses were all held hostage by this malicious software that encrypted their data and demanded a ransom in Bitcoin for its release. The WannaCry attack was notorious not just for its scale, but also for its victims. The UK's National Health Service was among the worst affected, with patient records inaccessible and emergency patients turned away. The financial cost was enormous, but the human cost, the stress, the chaos, the potential risk to lives was incalculable. But WannaCry was just one of many high-profile ransomware attacks. Just a month later, in June 2017, another wave of chaos was unleashed by the NotPetya attack. Originally thought to be a variant of the Petya ransomware, NotPetya was later revealed to be an entirely new threat. Its primary victims were in Ukraine, but it also spread worldwide, causing billions of dollars in damages. Then, in October of the same year, the Bad Rabbit ransomware sprang into action, mainly targeting organizations in Russia and Eastern Europe. Bad Rabbit masqueraded as an Adobe Flash installer, tricking users into infecting their own systems. Each of these attacks was notable not just for their scale and impact, but also for the ways they exploited vulnerabilities, tricked users, and bypassed defenses. They demonstrated the evolution of ransomware from a niche cyber threat to a global menace. They showed us that no one is immune, that any computer, any network, any user could be targeted. These attacks illustrated the devastating potential of ransomware. They served as a wake-up call, reminding us of the importance of cybersecurity, of vigilance, and of the constant need to adapt to ever-changing threats. But they also left us with a question. What will the next big ransomware attack look like, and are we ready for it? Today, ransomware attacks are more frequent and damaging than ever before. As we navigate this vast digital landscape, we find ourselves in a world where cyber threats are a daily reality. Ransomware, a malicious software designed to block access to a computer system until a sum of money is paid, has become a prominent player on this stage. In recent years, we've seen a surge in these digital heists. They've targeted hospitals, schools, corporations, and even entire cities. Just last year, a major oil pipeline was brought to its knees by a ransomware attack, disrupting fuel supply for several days and causing widespread panic. It was a stark reminder that these attacks can have real-world consequences. Another notable attack was on a prominent healthcare provider, where patient data was held hostage. The fallout was catastrophic, not only due to the financial loss, but also the breach of privacy and trust. These incidents highlight the grim reality that no sector is immune to this cyber menace. Looking ahead, the future risks of ransomware are immense. As technology advances, so do the tools and techniques used by cybercriminals. The rise of cryptocurrencies has made ransom payments more difficult to trace, further fueling this illicit trade. Moreover, with the advent of the Internet of Things, the number of potential targets for these attacks is set to skyrocket. There is also the danger of ransomware becoming more personalized. Imagine a scenario where your personal devices are targeted with attackers threatening to release your private photos, messages, or sensitive information unless a ransom is paid. This could become our new reality if we don't take the necessary steps to protect ourselves. In the end, it's clear that the threat of ransomware is not going away anytime soon. It's a game of cat and mouse where the stakes are getting higher with each passing day. The future of ransomware is uncertain, but the threat it poses is real and immediate. So, how can we protect ourselves from this unseen threat? It all starts with understanding the importance of cybersecurity measures. In our interconnected world, the safety of our data is as crucial as the safety of our homes. The first step in protecting ourselves is acknowledging that ransomware isn't just a problem for big corporations or governments. It can affect anyone. To safeguard against ransomware, we need to educate ourselves. Understand what ransomware is, how it works, and most importantly, how to prevent it. Regularly updating software and operating systems, avoiding suspicious emails or links, and having a reliable antivirus software are just a few steps we can take. But the most effective measure is to regularly back up important data. That way, even if a ransomware attack occurs, you still have control over your valuable information. Don't underestimate the power of knowledge. By staying informed, we can outsmart these cybercriminals. Remember, knowledge is the best defense against ransomware. Stay informed, stay safe. Thank you for watching our video on the rise of ransomware, your first step towards understanding and combating this cyber threat. But remember, this is a rapidly evolving field, and staying informed is the best defense. We have more videos on our channel that dive deeper into the world of cybersecurity, offering insights into the latest threats and protective measures. Whether you're a concerned individual, a small business owner, or a corporate leader, there's always more to learn. We encourage you to explore, watch, and engage with our content. We regularly update our channel with new videos covering everything from the basics of cybersecurity to the latest news and trends. By subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications, you can ensure you're always up to date with the latest information. Knowledge is power, and in this case, it could also mean the safety of your data. So stay informed, stay safe, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Together, we can outsmart cybercriminals and protect our digital world.